I've found that steamy romantic dramas can often utilize some of the more intimate aspects of relationships to bolster characters and stories in unique ways. While this doesn't work for everything, especially if the show's sexual content is more for shock than story, the approach is what decides how worthwhile a show or movie can be. In the case of Netflix's new miniseries Delirium, it straddles the line between necessity in how steamy it gets and how that intersects with its story. Said story focuses on Augustina, a woman whose life has always been interlocked with her relationship to sex. The Colombian series takes place in two core timelines. The modern timeline shows Augustina as a young woman, beginning a relationship with Aguilar, an older professor at a nearby university. However, after a mysterious event leaves her shaken, Aguilar starts to investigate what may have happened to her. This is where the past storyline comes in, exploring Augustina's fraught relationship with her family, alongside her psychological state and relation to her brother's friend, Freddie. While this is a compelling setup, the 3 episodes I was provided for review of the dark romance TV drama don't live up to its potential. Delirium's best attributes have nothing to do with its story and characters. The show presents its themes and symbolism in meaningful ways. Augustina looking confident in Delirium. The first notable element of the show was its visual storytelling when tackling Augustina's evolution. The show doesn't hold back from portraying layered symbolism that's both obvious and interpretive to her plight. There's a reason she's the person she is in the present-day storyline, much of which is showcased through meaningful visuals that depict how she has evolved. This especially includes her upbringing, which is expertly crafted thanks to frustrating characters in her life that influenced who she is in the present day. There is, of course, a steamy element to this as well. However, where the show could have fallen into the trap of needlessly using sex, it instead utilizes these intimate scenes to emphasize Augustina's relationships. There's deliberate care in how each one is crafted, used to bolster the relations between characters in important ways. The show doesn't get as steamy as series like Bridgerton in presentation. But, without these, the complexities between some of the characters wouldn't feel as close, their actions saying a lot more than their words. Visual storytelling is the biggest strength of the series, giving its characters plenty of time together to showcase their dynamics. It's bolstered by some strong performances from everyone in the cast, who portray some very realistic characters. However, this is also where the cracks in the show start to appear. While the performances bolstered character growth, the writing for the characters was often shallow and superficial. The series may give them memorable moments, but it's within vacuums that don't bolster their overall purpose. This shallow writing is something the show unfortunately suffers from throughout. Delirium's story and characters are equal parts flimsy and frustrating. The plot's weighty purpose doesn't match how it's showcased. The characters in Delirium provide a mixed bag between interesting and one note. Some characters, like Augustina herself, are interesting, with her struggles being the core of the story. However, others don't get much development despite how interesting they are on the surface. Augustina's younger brother, Beachy, is one of them, with an interesting story that could have been further expanded upon. Though the most frustrating is Aguilar, whose stunningly odd decisions after Augustina's incident make the present-day storyline feel like a complete afterthought. While I don't have full context because I haven't seen the entirety of the miniseries, baffling plot decisions are prevalent throughout each episode. They don't fully take away from the interesting ideas and themes Delirium is tackling. However, they do negate some core elements of the story, especially when a currently tangential storyline distracts from the larger plot. Intriguing ideas still exist, though, and when the story is focused, it makes for some very engaging developments. But, when distracted from its main path, especially in the present-day story, it falters. This makes Delirium a mixed bag. While there's plenty of carefully crafted visuals and reasons for sexual content, the characters and story lack the consistency that would have bolstered how interesting the series could be. Although there's still plenty to like, especially because of how well it tackles heavy subjects through the more positive aspects of its characters, the presentation still leaves something to be desired in many regards.